Welcome in, everybody, to the first edition of the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. Wanted to start off with a bang, and Matt Darling was unavailable, so here we have women's golf coach Scott Stano. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
We're here at the beautiful Sheraton Erie Bayfront. We're going to be here every week throughout the rest of the spring semester. Different locations. We're looking out over the Bayfront right here today on this winter morning, and you'll get to see us every week. We'll come to you with two coaches. We're going to start tossing in some student athletes here after we get going. Today we're starting with Scott, and later we'll have men's golf coach Dustin Coleman. But I guess we're going to start out with you here. Looks like you were one of the two teams, along with men's golf, that got to have some actual live competition this fall. How'd you guys look? You got to have 4 tournaments. What are the results of that?
First of all, I just want to say thank you to our entire administration down at Gannon for giving us the opportunity to play. We followed all the protocols that they set forth, and just to be able to have the opportunity to play was something that we'll cherish forever. It's something that we'll never forget. We were fortunate enough to play in 4 tournaments. That's kind of our normal in the fall, and we were able to win that Walsh. I mean, that was a tough day. It was cold, windy and rainy, and we were able to defeat Walsh and Mercier's. It was really close, and so it was nice to start off the fall season with a win. That way we won't have to worry about it in the springtime, and so that's something that we can build in when we start out, later next month.
All right. How different is this spring going to look for you? The one, I think the kind of headliner is that the PSAC Championships is going to be in the spring.
Yep.
A lot of conferences do that. We usually don't.
Yep.
We get it knocked out in the fall. And so it'll look a little different. You have something to build to before regionals?
Yeah, I kind of like it in the springtime. Just maybe for our team per se, we play better in the fall, but I like the idea in the springtime. That way you're getting ready, you're peaking towards a conference championship, and then you're going into the NCAA tournament. That way, opposing the two in the fall, we're peaking, we're at the PSACs, and now we got a 6-month layoff until the NCAA, so it's going to be hard to build that back up. So I like it in the springtime. I actually kind of like it where it's going to be placed this year, where we're going to get a couple tournaments in, then we're going to have PSACs, and then we're going to have a couple tournaments before the NCAA. So everything's going to be a nice little build-up. So it's going to be something different this year, and that's something that I kind of like. I like the idea of that.
Right. How did that change in the fall for you then? Because obviously you didn't have a PSAC championship to look forward to at the end of October. So how did you guys approach that fall competition?
The competition, we wanted to play as many as the top teams as we can. And so in our region's big. Goes from north, Maine, all the way down to North and South Carolina. Then you go west through Nashville and over in Chicago. So it's a big region. And we wanted to make sure that we played a lot of the top teams. Finley's always there, Tiffin's there, Walsh is there. So we wanted to make sure to be the best, you got to play against the best. Against the best competition, that's the only way you can get better. And so that's something that we wanted to do. We wanted to play against the top teams. So we were able to do that. So it was a successful fall.
Right. I know we're working on building spring schedules. You know, the PSAC Championship's going to be. We know when the regional is going to be. You guys will have some other stuff. I know we're trying to have a home event like we usually do in the spring.
Yeah, that's looks like we're going to try to have a home event in April. The week after PSACs is looking when we're going to have it. And so that's going to be a nice little buffer into the regionals. So that's something good to stay fresh.
Right. How's everyone looking coming into the spring? We got a little bit of a delayed start to the spring semester, but we're going to have all the ladies back. And when does it look like your first competition is going to be?
It looks like we're going to have our first competition in middle of March. So that's going to be good. That's going to be fun. And we're scheduled to go down to North Carolina. So that's going to be nice. And then from there, we're going to play in as many tournaments as we can before PSAC. So that way we're ready to defend the title.
Right, that's another one. So this will be, I guess, it'll be the longest reigning title probably in PSAC history.
I wish they gave us all coats like the Masters. You saw Tiger carrying that green jacket a little longer, so I wish we could have had a PSAC jacket that we could have carried a little longer. But no, I mean, yeah, we're defending champions, and so until somebody takes that away, we know teams are going to try and beat us, and so that's going to drive us in the springtime is to make sure that we're going to continue to carrying that defending championship title to hopefully the fall of 21 as well. So that's our goal. That's what we put forward. That's what we want, and that's what our expectation is. That's what we're going to work for, in all our practices and tournaments leading up to PSAC in April.
All right. And you kind of spoke to it there, but can you just talk a little bit about how nice it was to be able to get to compete in the fall? You guys had your normal practice schedule. We obviously have the bonus of the indoor place where dedicated place where golf can practice.
It was nice. You could tell that they wanted to play. They didn't take anything for granted. They were excited to be on the golf course. They were excited to be with their teammates. They were excited for everything. And it just, like I said, our administration did a great job by supporting us and saying, yes, you guys can go play. And that's something that we'll never forget. We'll remember that forever. Like, it did look different. It was unique, per se, not like exactly handing the scorecards. We did more things electronically, which is cool. I like it. As a coach, I can go. It's hard to being around on the golf course seeing all 5 people at the same time. So it's nice looking, okay, we got a birdie there. That's a good job. All right. So from that standpoint, I enjoyed it. And so, I mean, it's only something that we can build from it and learn from that experience.
You're always one to try to push and get the more electronic, what do they call live scoring, and having everyone do that. I know we appreciate that in the SID world. Whenever we can get a little more detail on you guys rather than waiting for the end of the day to score. And I guess that's one of the couple positives you can find out of everything that has happened this past year. All right, so I think that's all the questions I had written down there on my fancy note card. We do have a yet-to-be-sponsored feature. We're going to call it Fast Five. Five questions, completely unrelated to sports or golf or Gannon.
Am I allowed to answer with Matt Darling on any of those?
Yeah, well, we're actually going to compare your questions.
Okay,
and we'll see. So, all right, just be first thing that kind of pops your head. Hopefully, it won't take too long to think about it. All right, what is your dream vacation?
Dream vacation. I always wanted to go to Poland. I have a Polish heritage. I always wanted to go to Poland, so that's something I would like to do.
All right, let's see. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie. Ooh, 2. Can I use 2?
Yeah, you can go.
All right, 2. Back to the Future. Love Back to the Future. And Hoosiers. Hoosiers is a great movie.
All right. Favorite book?
Try Not to Suck. I'm a Cubs fan. Joe Madden. It was great.
All right, let's see. Dream car?
Dream car, Corvette.
All right. And favorite band?
Favorite band? Oh, man. I don't know. How about I'll go with my favorite singer. I like Eric Church. I'll go with Eric Church. Best concert I've ever seen was Eric Church, by the way, in Pittsburgh.
Okay, there you go. All right, so that was the Fast Five. We will do that, like I said, with I think we're going to keep the same 5 questions, and we'll compare them at the end, and then we'll pick a winner, and that winner will get absolutely nothing, but it'll be a winner.
All right.
All right, so it's women's golf coach Scott Stano. See if I can say it right. And as our first guest, we'll be back after a quick break with men's golf coach Dustin Coleman. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bianchi Honda knows winter does not slow us down in Erie. We're tough, so why not drive an SUV that fits who we are? Like in the 2020 Honda CR-V LX all-wheel drive that you can now lease for only $198 per month. Erie is who we are. Honda is what we drive.
Welcome back to the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. Joined now by men's golf coach Dustin Coleman. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, get right into it here. Gonna be a lot of the same questions we just talked with Scott, but you guys have a lot of similarities with the sport that you coach. For example, you guys got to play this fall, one of only 2 teams along with women's golf. What was that like to be able to get out there and compete, in pretty much just as normal as you would have?
Yeah, that was great. Gannon was great all summer and all fall leading up to that with the goal of playing. They kind of had our back, and I know the guys felt that, and they were excited. It was something to look forward to. And then actually playing twice in the fall was great. We finished second in our first tournament at Malone. Connor Bennick won the tournament as an individual. Then we played at Finley after that, and it played a really competitive field there. Played really great. Our last 2 rounds were 292 and 288, which were some of the lowest we've had in a long time. So it was really great to one, just play, but 2, play at a high level. So we're looking to keep that going in the spring.
All right. See, before we look ahead there, let's look back to last spring. You guys were on the course whenever you found out that, hey, you're going to have to wrap today up and get home, right?
Yeah, that was a wild week. Heading down to North Carolina, you thought no way things would get canceled. Then you started seeing the NCAA basketball tournament get canceled, so things started to get real. And we were on our second practice round the day before the tournament down there when we got word that things were canceled.
Right, and you guys were kind of having a pretty good spring there too. I think one of the nice things is you didn't lose too much off that team. A lot of the guys got to come back for this year, correct?
Correct. Yeah. We were back and forth between number 1 and 2 in the region, having a really great year. Graduated 2 seniors, but most of the core guys are back. We're pretty deep. We go about 7-8 deep on a 5-man team, so everyone's really pushes each other and gets the best out of each individual, and it creates a great team environment, and we've been competitive with it.
All right. How much did they get to do over the summer? I know usually they get sent out and they compete on their own on the summer circuit and stuff like that, or practice themselves. What did they get to do?
Yeah, the guys did a lot. Things, it seemed like, loosened up in the summer as cases went down. So guys got to play in their local tournaments, either here in Erie or back home. Some of the guys in Canada played in some tournaments. But yeah, it was kind of almost normal, I would say, as far as the summer went. You're outside, it was nice weather, we're distance when we're golfing. So we didn't have too many hiccups there. So the guys did get a lot of work in and came back ready to go.
Right. So looking forward to this spring, I think the biggest changes are going to have PSAC championships in the spring, unlike where we usually have them at the fall, kind of capping the fall competition schedule for us. How's that make things look different, whether it's what your practice looks like now before the semester or your competition? How's that change things up?
Yeah, the main difference will just be the schedule's different. We get used to playing in the same tournaments, whether it's in the fall or in the spring, so the schedule will look different. It'll be neat to play for the conference championship still. That's one of our highlights. You want to win the conference. That's one of the first goals we set every year. And having that canceled in the fall is a disappointment, but then knowing that we can still play for it in the spring is exciting. So that's what we want to do. We want to go there, we want to compete, and we want to win it. Rest of the spring schedule will be a little different too, I think. If we get to play our full allotment, then we might be playing a little bit more since we played less in the fall, but we'll have to see how that really shapes up.
Right. I guess what's that? Because I know I'd talked to you guys before because it was a newer concept to me to play the conference championship in the fall. That kind of, I felt like that capped off the fall semester. Like, okay, this is what we're playing to, it's what we're trying to build to for the fall, and then we come back in the spring, and then sometimes that can make the spring look different, whether you have that auto bid or not.
Yeah.
But, so this time, I mean, which is this something that you focus on PSAC first this semester, or are you looking to your regional ranking? What do you
yeah, exactly. In the fall, it is nice to have our conference championship at the end because we kind of build towards that and have something to play for at the end of the fall season. And then we kind of roll into spring, and at the end of the spring, we have NCAA championships, so we have something to play for then as well. But again, we're just happy to be playing for a championship. So ultimately, your regional ranking is kind of what matters, but you get an automatic bid if you win the conference championship and you get to raise that trophy, and I don't think there's going to be anything better than if we can do that.
Right. And I mean, the group of guys that you have to kind of form that core, they've been right around there too for, I mean, whether it's qualifying as a team or being in the top couple teams at PSACs. So they know what it takes to be
Definitely.
in that conversation, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. So I think we're going to move on to the, so far over break, no one's sponsored it yet, so the still unsponsored Fast Five segment.
Okay.
That's 5 questions.
All right.
Just completely unrelated to Gannon or athletics or anything. Just let me know what kind of pops in your mind first there.
Okay.
So I'm going to mix it up just in case you were listening on Scott's segment there. All right, let's see. What's your favorite book?
Favorite book? Probably Golf is Not a Game of Perfect by Dr. Bob Rotella.
All right. Dream car.
Dream car. like a Ford Raptor truck, something big and tough.
All right. Dream vacation.
Dream vacation, probably Hawaii with the family.
All right. Favorite movie?
That's a good one. If it's comedy, maybe I'd say Wedding Crashers. If it's more of an action, I'd maybe say Inside Man.
I love having to mix up the genres on that. That's a tough one to single out there.
Yeah.
All right, and favorite band?
Favorite band? Well, I am not a big music guy. My team will attest to that. Anytime we're on our trips in the van, they say, Coach, what do you listen to? And I just say, I don't really, whatever sounds good to me. So I can't really name one.
All right. That's good. And then the graphic that I make is just going to be an X through that box. It'll be easy.
Good.
All right. Well, that's all we got. Thanks for joining us. It's men's golf coach Dustin Coleman. And we're back next week. We'll have to look. I don't even know who signed up yet for that one, but we're going to be back with 2 more coaches. I think we're going to have a student athlete join us next week, and we'll be back here at the Sheraton Erie Bayfront for week 2 of the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. Thanks for tuning in.